Hello? What? You want me to open the store up again? I just did this yesterday. Why can't he do it? You'll be there at 12? Okay. You better be there. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hey. Hey! This is Monopoly money, you asshole! Can't you read the sign? Get back here! We've all been there. Whether you worked in retail or in a cubicle, every job comes with its fair share of nonsense. And one of the best movies to capture this is Kevin Smith's debut film from 1994, Clerks, an incredibly low-budget film that doesn't go overboard with what it's trying to do. We're not in space fighting aliens. Instead, we're in a convenience store fighting customers. Something many of us can relate to. Especially the legend from New Jersey himself, Kevin Smith. The guy worked at 6 different convenience stores before filming Clerks. I would say he's pretty credible. Anyways, a movie doesn't have to blow up the Death Star to become successful. This is what Kevin figured out when he saw Richard Linklater's Slacker at 21. It could simply just be a representation of what life is like at the moment. So with that in mind, he gathered some friends, credit cards, and got permission to film after hours in 2 real stores that him and his friend Brian Johnson were working at. Kevin and the cast filmed for 21 nights straight. They closed the store's shutters and went to work, working from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. While the cast worked that shift, Kevin worked overtime. He had to make frequent trips to New York to drop the footage off, as well as return to his actual shift at the Quick Stop in the afternoon. Could you imagine? Kevin practically lived in the Quick Stop. Anyways, all that effort paid off in the end, for the film was extremely successful. It was bought by Miramax and grossed over $3 million. It was praised by critics, and over time it's grown a cult following. Rightfully so. Clerks is genius. It's satire on everything that sucks about working a minimum wage job wrapped up in the 90s foil. We get to experience everything from dealing with obnoxious customers to the fun of working on your day off, all while backed up by Soul Asylum, VHS tapes, flannel shirts, and yoo-hoos. It's quite the trip. The film primarily focuses on 2 clerks named Dante and Randall. Dante is a clerk at the Quick Stop who is pessimistic but passive. He complains about the customers but is often afraid to confront them. Randall, on the other hand, doesn't give a shit. He's rebellious and cocky. He has no problem breaking store rules and harassing the customers.
Sir.
What?
Are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Well, have you heard anything about either one of them?
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
You mean you haven't heard anybody say anything about either one of these?
Nope.
Well, what about these 2?
Oh, they suck.
These are the same 2 movies? You weren't paying any attention.
No, I wasn't.
I don't think your manager would
I
appreciate
don't
it.
appreciate your ruse, ma'am.
I beg your pardon?
Your ruse, your cunning attempt to trick me.
I was only pointing out that you weren't paying any attention to what I was saying.
And I hope it feels good.
You hope what feels good?
I hope it feels so good to be right. There's nothing more exhilarating than pointing out the shortcomings of others, is there?
He firmly believes that it's important to express his values, no matter how offensive. Together, Dante and Randall have an excellent dynamic. They're like yin and yang. Randall represents the fantasy of many employees, where Dante is the reality. Speaking of awesome dynamics, we also have the stoner duo Jay and Silent Bob, which are played by Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith himself. Jay is a hot-headed loudmouth who says the first thing that comes to mind, and Silent Bob is the quiet dude who backs him up. Like Dante and Randall, total opposites. You can find these guys chilling on the quick stop wall, talking to random customers, and sometimes breakdancing. Aside from the guys, we also have Veronica, who's Dante's girlfriend. She has an extremely dirty past, but for the most part is pretty loyal to Dante. She sticks up for him, encourages him, and I mean, she even brings the man lasagna. Could you ask for anything more?
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude, but they don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
Clerks tells the story of the worst shift ever. Dante is called in on his day off, and things decline from there. He's attacked by protesting customers, pressured into a hockey game, finds a dead guy in the store's bathroom, and worst of all, has to deal with Randall's hijinks. Randall constantly tries to pull Dante into his rebellious nature, and it's up to Dante as to whether he decides to go along for the ride or remains tied down to the quick stop following the store policy. All of that, and you must always be reminded of one thing by Dante.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. You know what the real tragedy about all this is? I'm not even supposed to be here today! Oh, fuck you!
While the humor in this film is genius, what truly makes Clerks such a great film is just how relatable it is, while presenting everything in its own unique style. The entire film is in black and white, and has a very episodic feel with how moments of Dante's shift are split up with title cards. Clerks does an excellent job at showcasing the many job annoyances, such as opening and closing, getting called on your day off, having to deal with that one rebellious coworker, and worst of all, the customers. We get them all. The complainers, the manipulators, the clueless, the obsessive, otherwise me. They're all on display for us, and we experience their bullshit all through the lenses of Dante and Randall. Again, two ways of handling customers, fantasy versus reality. Truly an entertaining dynamic. It's a lot of fun to see Dante get pushed around by these terrible customers, but it's even better to see Randall school these people. No doubt Clerks has satire down to a T. Now Clerks is a great film, but of course it has its flaws. There are certain moments in the film that don't really go anywhere, such as Dante meeting up with his ex Caitlin, or the guys going to a funeral. The film is at its best when it puts Dante and Randall in those stupid job situations that we can all relate to, rather than focusing on something personal that only pertains to the characters. The film's direction also becomes slightly inconsistent towards the end. It feels conflicted as to whether it wants to continue with the random job scenario format, or just drop it all together and focus on Dante. These two flaws are minor nitpicks though. Clerks is truly the definition of a cult classic. It has iconic lines, memorable characters, and many situations we can relate to. It's a film that you could easily put on after a hard day, laughing at our two main characters suffering at a shitty job, knowing that we ourselves have been there.